Welcome to the It's in Queens podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Simmons, and this is the only podcast that focuses on Queens, the borough that has it all. This podcast is brought to you by the Queens Economic Development Corporation and the Queens Tourism Council, which work tirelessly to showcase Queens as a destination full of unique experiences, cultural gems, and opportunities for everyone who lives here, works here, or even is visiting. Queens isn't just a hub for culture and cuisine. It's also home to a diverse array of educational institutions, from public schools to community colleges to top independent academies that shape the next generation. I'm a former education reporter for several outlets here in New York City, including New York One. And when I was there, I was able to see firsthand the impact that good teaching had on students and how it ushered them to success. I spent considerable time in classrooms. I covered curriculum changes and after-school programs, and I learned about the challenges and opportunities experienced in many of our schools. Education plays a vital role here, fostering innovation, community ties, and of course, personal growth in one of the world's most diverse boroughs. This week, we're spotlighting a local gem, Garden School in Jackson Heights, a nursery through grade 12 independent college prep school founded in 1923. Garden School's mission affirms the primacy of learning in an educationally diverse community. It empowers every student to meet life's challenges responsibly through academic achievement and personal development and social involvement, while recognizing each child's individual identity to build self-worth. Joining me for this episode is Christopher Herman, head of school at Garden School. A Queens native with family roots in Maspeth, where his grandfather was a community activist, Christopher Herman shifted from studying photography at Long Island University to educational leadership after co-founding an academy in Philadelphia, a school for students with learning differences. Over the past 5 years at Garden School, he's kept the school open through the pandemic, launched a Road to 100 strategic plan for its centennial, renovated facilities like science labs and a fitness center, and emphasized affordability to serve local families, making it one of the city's most diverse independent schools. So let's bring him on. Chris Herman, welcome to the It's in Queens podcast.
Thanks.
So you have spent your childhood in Queens in neighborhoods like Maspeth and Woodside before eventually returning to lead a school here. What does it mean to you to personally be running a school in Queens now?
About 90 years ago, my grandfather actually built the house that we live in. And so I love being back in a place that I used to spend summers and visit as a child. And the last time I lived in Queens full time was 25 years ago. So, as you know, so much has changed since then. Our school is a microcosm of the borough and really reflects all of that change in who attends, who's drawn to our mission, and the kind of community that grows around us. So I love being back in Queens. I love being part of what Queens is today, even more than what Queens used to be.
And you mentioned being back in Queens. You had an interesting path into education, Queens to Philadelphia, now back here to the Garden School. When you look back, what are a couple of pivotal moments or even mentors that really shaped how you lead a school?
I've worked for amazing people, amazing school leaders. I was in an incredible public school in Philadelphia when an opportunity to become part of a founding team at a new school came up. That was 20 years ago, and joining that team changed everything that I think about education. I worked alongside some really smart and entrepreneurial people, and together we built a school that's thriving today. And I use so much of what I learned from those people and that experience every day. And then there's the network of other school leaders around the country, around the city that I lean on all the time. People that I got to study with at the University of Pennsylvania in my leadership program there, or at the Klingenstein Heads Fellowship at Columbia University. They're all better at their jobs than I am. And so I get to lean on them, ask them questions, and learn a lot.
You have described the Garden School as small by design, but yet still big enough to offer a full range of opportunities. So I'd love for you to talk about how that intentional size shows up in the day-to-day experience for students and for staff, for teachers.
There is an unmistakable warmth the moment that you walk into our building. The main entrance to campus is inside of a one-story pre-war converted tennis club. So it's like walking into an old house. And in that house, you find children of all ages intermingling in the hallway, 2-year-olds and kindergartners, high-fiving high school juniors and seniors, look at them like they're stars. It's like a home, and inside there's just a big family. And I asked a graduate a few years back to define our school, and one word, and she said sanctuary. She elaborated that in this big, bustling, crowded, sometimes edgy city, you enter the gates of garden school and you feel this warmth and refinement of this learning sanctuary where everyone is kind and gentle and people from all over the world are living together in a really unique kind of harmony.
So, one of the things that really stands out is the Garden School's commitment to being an accessible, independent school for families in Queens. How do you and your team actually make that idea of accessibility real beyond just talking about it?
So, in the landscape of independent schools, Garden School ranks among the most affordable. New York City private schools are famously expensive, and that means that the work of ensuring a community is diverse and represents individuals from many backgrounds is challenging. For us, the barrier to entry is a lot lower. We're better than half the cost of most other schools, and so with this lower barrier, we pull students mostly from our local area, mostly from the community. And because Queens is so diverse, our school is very diverse. There are over 50 languages spoken in the homes of our families, and it's our goal to remain accessible to that wide of a range of families. Price is a huge priority for our board, and it really is an effective mechanism.
So, the school has added programs like robotics, arts, global studies in recent years. Is there a particular program or initiative that you think best captures what the Garden School is headed into, or is emblematic of the school this decade?
We are incredibly proud of the investments that we've made into STEM, robotics, engineering, visual arts, performing arts, athletics, all alongside continuing to offer outstanding core humanities, world languages, science, like we've been doing for the last 100 years. I think what you find here is that year after year, we increase the amount of choice and agency that students have in their curriculum. And that is likely the defining characteristic of where we think we're heading. This has always been central to our mission that personalized learning will pave the way to the strongest student outcomes. The thing that it is now is that the possibilities are nearly limitless with what a student can do and learn when we place them at the center of their program.
And Garden School has really deep roots in the neighborhood, serving nursery school through 12th grade. How do you see the school's role in the broader Jackson Heights and the broader Queens community beyond the classroom walls?
So we love that we are and always have been a central part of this community, and so we are incredibly committed to Jackson Heights. Our early childhood center is partnered with the DOE, offering over 200 free 3 and 4 year old seats. Our after school and Saturday music and dance programs are also open to the community. Our summer camp is comprised of hundreds of children, many who do not attend our school during the school year. And we have partnerships with a number of organizations like Common Point, Art for a Start, Revolution Me Media, Big City Volleyball, all to enable children across the community to have access to our campus, our swimming pool, and our programs. We're really proud to have launched something called the Community Resource Center, or the CRC for short, where hundreds of families and educators can attend dozens of free workshops every year, led by experts in the field of education, parenting, psychology, motivation. And the goal there is to advance everyone in the community so we can push every child, every parent. And we aspire to impact the practice of 10,000 parents and educators in the next few years, and we're well on our way to that goal.
I stepped in to assist with this podcast at the beginning, near the beginning of the pandemic. So a lot of the conversations involved how people adapted. Well, you led Garden School through, and you arrived during the pandemic. You led them through some very challenging years. Talk a little about what that period taught you about resilience.
That was a challenging time. You're right. That was my first year and a half at the school. And the most important lessons I learned were about community. It seemed nearly impossible to be a school that was open for camp in July of 2020, no less, never closed for in-person learning throughout the entire pandemic. But a strong community who understands that we all had to commit to tight protocols, trust one another, and communicate can do really hard things together. I was so fortunate to have that experience with the families and the students and the staff here. It's a huge part of what made me fall in love with the school and the community.
So, for a parent or even a student who might be listening to this, who might be curious about garden school, but isn't really sure an independent school is for them, sell the school. What's a misconception you'd like to clear up, and one reason you'd encourage people to really take a closer look at the school?
Well, you asked two separate questions, so I'll answer them in order.
I tend to do that.
Started by saying sell the school, and I really love talking about Garden School. It's 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 so unique. It's a place where really everybody is known, not just by their name and their grade, but by their talents and their goals and their passions. Students enter, and within weeks, the community has tapped into their aspirations in so many meaningful ways. The same is true for adults. As someone who is taught in larger schools, there's something particularly special about teaching and learning in smaller places where you literally matter to everybody around you. And this produces the kind of sense of belonging that enables you to reach your full potential. This results in high achieving but very joyful kids. So, in a world where kids are stressed out all the time and available spots in top colleges are incredibly competitive and increasingly more competitive, we really value that our kids are getting into those colleges, but having a lot of joy along the way. So they're laughing a lot. And I think when you're a parent and you're looking for a place for your child to thrive, you want them to experience a rigorous academic program, and you also want them to enjoy the joys of childhood. And so I think you get that here.
And if someone listening really wants to find out more about the school or even get involved in some capacity, what are the best ways for them to connect with you and with the school?
I would suggest starting at our website, www.gardenschool.org. And from there, you can learn more. You can access our social media. You can register for a virtual information session. We hold one just about every Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And there you get to meet a lot of our team members, learn a good deal about our programs, and perhaps begin the admissions process.
Chris Herman, thank you so much for appearing this week on the It's in Queens podcast. What sets Garden School apart is its small by design approach, nursery to grade 12 programs blending rigorous academics with robotics, arts, global studies, athletics, and individualized mentoring. Recent grads have thrived at matched colleges backed by small classes and specialist teachers from early childhood through upper division. Again, affordability shines through partnerships like pre-K with the Department of Education, summer camps, and a strong Garden Family Association for events and scholarships, keeping it accessible for Queens neighborhoods. And speaking of neighborhoods, if you're looking for something to do in your neighborhood or another neighborhood in Queens, well, we always have you covered. That's where Rob Mackay comes in. He's with the Queens Economic Development Corporation and the Queens Tourism Council. And each and every week, he brings us details on some of the more exciting events happening in Queens. Here's this week's report.
Hey Jeff, it's raining tribute concerts in Queens this weekend. First of all, on March 21st at Colden Auditorium in Queens College, Michael Feinstein is going to do a tribute to Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett, as you should know, grew up in Astoria, and in fact, after his incredible career, he donated the money to found the Frank Sinatra School of the Arts in Astoria. Anyway, Michael Feinstein actually knew Tony Bennett. He is a multi award winner with a great crooner's voice, and the concert is going to be fantastic. It's March 21st at 8 o'clock. The other concert is over at the Queensboro Performing Arts Center in Bayside, and that is the Seven Wonders. Now, if that sounds familiar, that's a very popular song by Fleetwood Mac, and this is, in fact, the best Fleetwood Mac tribute band, and it has seven musicians. They will play such songs as Go Your Own Way, Landslide, Gypsy, all the stuff that you love by Fleetwood. Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow. That's going on March 22nd at 3 o'clock. And it's worth mentioning that QPAC is located at Queensboro Community College on the campus. So there are actually two fantastic tribute bands this weekend, and one's on a Saturday and one's on a Sunday. So you can go to both. All right. Thank you, Jeff. See you there.
Thanks, Rob. That's just a few of the things happening in our borough. The place to go to discover and explore everything that's on the horizon is easy to remember. It's at the It's in Queens website, and that website address is itsinqueens.com. And if you're interested in more business news, how to help your business or friends, make a point to visit the Queens Economic Development Corporation's website at queensny.org. And when you're there, or when you visit the It's in Queens website, take a moment and sign up for the newsletter. And by the way, when you get out and about in Queens, Make a point of taking a photo or two and share them with us. When you post on Instagram or X, use the hashtag #It'sInQueens, because who knows, your photo could become our photo of the week. I'm your host, Jeff Simmons, and that's it for this week's It's in Queens podcast.